coming to this end, to the end of this very intensive week, of which this was the last day devoted specifically to training in science diplomacy. I think one of the most valuable takeaways is that this meeting was held and that this community had an opportunity to know each other in person, and so interaction, human interaction, have taken place. Our task now is not to repeat what was said. It's not a wrap-up session, because the wrap-up session was the last session and was very rich. Most of the things that we said, as you said, we need some time to digest them. And we will try together, the organizers, to put something in writing, some sort of summary of, and circulate it to the speakers so that they can adjust it. This is our proposal. So our main task now is to thank the organizers and to thank the people who funded this meeting, the European Commission, UNESCO, and also, of course, the European EUSDA, European Union Science Diplomacy Alliance, which I am co-chairing as president of AVRIST. As was said by my colleague Pierre Bruno Riffoni this morning, AVRIST is a civil society organizations of people who have worked as science diplomats or still work as science diplomats, most of them with a scientific background. So we have a practical experience. And after having doing that, we continue working in science diplomacy and be interested. I heard in the last session, perhaps the last sentences, it was stressed how science diplomacy is not only an issue for scientists and for diplomats. It matters for society at large. So if we want to have a bridge between scientists and diplomats, it should, it was said, start already at school, involve civil society organizations, and the ability to speak to the society at large. So now I'm coming to practical thinking. So I thank UNESCO, Mr. Ezra Richard, who was this morning, you, Anna, and of course, Daniela Palmberg, and on the European European Commission side, you, Jan-Marco Müller, for supporting from the beginning this, the organization of this meeting. I also want to thank particularly the 4 chairs of our 4 sessions, Mrs. Martina Schubert, 3 ladies and 1 gentleman, so it's good. Mrs. Anaceto, Paul Berkman, and who was not there, Maria Chosten, who is here. So I thank you all for having prepared and chaired masterfully our sessions. And only a few things to say that in the course of this chairmanship by AVRIST of the European Union Science Diplomacy Alliance, we had launched 3 working groups. One on training, and the flag event of this group on training is our meeting today. We have another group on science diplomacy and the Global South, and next Wednesday there will be a webinar with many participants from the Global South that will take place between 10 and 1 p.m. next Wednesday. And we have another group working on science diplomacy and academic freedom. There were already 2 webinars on this subject, and the next one is being prepared for the 13th of May. And of course, this webinar will address the situations that rise everywhere in the world that attack on science, and how this is a challenge, at the same time an opportunity for European science diplomacy. I will close this remark here, and you take the floor. You take the floor. Okay.
Well, from my side, also first to say thank you to the EU Science Diplomacy Alliance and to Pierre Bruno also for coming up with this suggestion of organizing this workshop, and for all the work which all these working bees have been contributing to get this off the ground, and inviting the speakers and organizing everything, especially also to Maria and Charlotte and the colleagues from the Global Service Facility for doing all the not so prominent back in the background work of technically organizing everything. So thank you very much for this. And of course to Anna and Daniela and your team at UNESCO, actually for having brought us all together for this week here in Paris, which I think was a fantastic opportunity to meet new people, deepen old relationships, and reflect about the future of science diplomacy. So thank you very much also for your for hosting us, and for, of course, also actively contributing and supporting this workshop. From the European Commission side, I can only say we will continue to be supporting science diplomacy training, because I know that this needs funding and it needs moral and political support, so please count on this. Perhaps one last reflection, and that's something I learned when I worked at the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis. Systems don't behave in a linear way. They collapse. And then there's a phase of disarray, and then the system restabilizes at a different level of entropy. And we are now in this phase where this old world order is collapsing. But the future is not yet written. We don't know yet where the system is going to restabilize. Nowhere is written that we are going to head for whatever World War III, or for a time where emperors divide and rule the world. It may well be that the planet comes much better out of this, because people see actually what has been missing. So at the end of the day, I mean, how the system restabilizes is up to all of us. And so I can only invite all of you, when you, after this workshop, go back to your workplaces, well, in your specific jobs, well, please keep rocking the boat for science diplomacy and for making the world a better place. Thank you.
And thank you again, as was said, for Charlotte and the Secretariat of EUSDA in general. But as I said, we would like to prepare a summary, a written summary, so their task is not finished. We thank them now, but we will thank them later when this new task is completed. And you will be all invited, all the members of the Alliance, but all the participants, to read this summary and perhaps to complete it with your own comments and remarks. So thank you very much. And you want to say something?
Yeah, just a few words, staying on the positive side, completely on the positive side. But just to really thank you all for coming. Thank you for joining. Thank you, of course, for getting us here, both the Alliance and the Commission. I'm very happy that we did this workshop together, and at this moment also, I think it was a good moment to bring everybody together. We started thinking about a meeting of, what, 15, 20 people, then it became 30, 40, 60, and now we have 80 here. I don't know how many online. Obviously, there is need to talk to each other. Obviously, there is need to think through these things together, to understand what we have achieved, where are still gaps, where we have failed, and how to move forward, including in times that are a little bit particular.
How to drive on a bumping road.
Exactly, but it's really good to have you all here. It's really good. There was a lot of positive energy, I think, throughout these few days. So I think that was also good for us to see that there is a value in UNESCO convening this dialogue and moving forward still with science diplomacy. As I said, we do need to think about everything that has been said, and then we do have to come up with a roadmap for science diplomacy and our engagement in that. That is both visionary but also practical. There are practical things that we would like to do, and we will get back to all of you through the Alliance and also through different networks to see how we can move this agenda forward. these dialogues need to be expanded also in other parts of the world. I think that's also very clear for us, and we have to see who are the best partners for us to do so. And here I'm looking at Dan, I'm looking at Anna Maria, I'm looking at the others who are here also from the other regions in the world. We have our field offices here. That's why our colleagues were here as well this morning, to see how something similar can be organized in different regions by our different field offices as well. So thank you all very, very much. For those who have to travel in different places, safe travels. And I really hope that we will stay in touch and continue this dialogue all together. So thanks again, and we will be in touch. Thank you.